we control the destiny of our life. We control the rocking horse. How y'all doing out there? My name is Brico, and I'm with the Mighty Warrior Ministries. If you can see here, I have the rocking horse here, and this rocking horse is going to be used as a demonstration that it's a demonstration for a revelation that I received one day, and I would like to share it with you, and maybe it can benefit you in the life that you're living. But this rocking horse, we're going to say it represents life. And so we will say that this is the rocking horse of life. This rocking horse, just steady rocking, the rocking horse of life. And so one day I seen something and I got a revelation of a rocking horse. And really, by examining the rocking horse and what it represents, and also what it represents to the manufacturer, what it represents to the family, and how we can use what it represents to understand our own life. And again, it's just a simple rocking horse. This rocking horse, I'm thinking that when children turn around maybe a year and a half and older, they might be old enough to ride on this rocking horse. And this rocking horse, we'll learn has a lot of benefits. And so I had to read an article, and I'll read it, about the mindset of a child who is 1.5 years old. And so a child that is a toddler, that is 18 months old, is now walking and using basic words. At this age, children love to play and explore. That means that I'm thinking that they're used to engaging with their inner voice, creating imagination, kind of what I'm doing here. I'm using my childlike imagination with a rocking horse to explain maybe some of life's events and how life might be viewed when it comes to a rocking horse. And it also says they begin to show some independence and may play, pretend, and point at objects they want. Okay, so they also begin to understand what things in the house are used for, such as like a spoon or maybe a cup. And so they begin to show some independence. That is good, because we'll learn that, I think that's one of these instructions, in that there's only one rider per horse, right? Kind of like life, right? The life that you have, the life that you possess, it's yours. It's something that you possess. It's something that you hold. It's something that personally belongs to you, and may play pretend, again, make believe, kind of like we're doing with this rocking horse, and point at objects that they want. They can point at things, say things, and so we can see that the life or the mindset of a child who's of age to get on a rocker or start to enjoy life, right? Because we can say that, I don't know if anybody out there has memory of being a child and also being on a rocker, but you might have some memories about that. And with that, you might, I don't know, you might have some memories of how you used to ride on this rocker. I had to ask my mother because I didn't remember, but she did say that I did have a rocking horse, but I was kind of mild, like kind of how I'm rocking the rocking horse now. Some people, boom, that's my high ho silver right there, right? The Long Ranger, boom, right there, right? And if we get too into it, we can get way up here, right? And so with this rocking horse, we can gain tremendous insight on how we can win in this life. And so normally with a rocking horse, they do come with instructions. And with these instructions, they have caution on them, right? They have caution because, again, if we can imagine this, that a human, right? A person that's supposed to be imperfect, um, that is supposed to be messing up, they even have enough wisdom and knowledge to have instruction, even when it comes to a rocking horse. And the weird thing about this rocking horse is that, as simple as it is, we need to know how it's used in life. And sometimes people think that maybe life might be simple, but we need to understand what life is about on how to use it, because again, you got to be an independent writer. And so when we look at the instruction manual, what are some of the instructions you might see in a box, right? When you have a rocking horse, like what type of instructions do you expect to maybe read about? Because it's just a rocking horse. It only goes back and forth. How dangerous could a rocking horse be? How dangerous could life actually be? And so, again, even on some of these instructions, in big words, they have words like caution and serious injury. And so let's think about some of these. I got some of these written down, and so let's go over them. So, continuous adult supervision. Do you think that should be required of a rocking horse? Do you think that a child, a person writing it, a person enjoying it should have continuous adult supervision? When you had your child, when you gave birth to life, did you give it constant supervision as it was engaging with the rocking horse of life, as it was engaging with growing and becoming more than what it used to be, when it's experiencing life and imagination is setting in, and again pointing the finger and looking at stuff and noticing the difference between things. And so again, it says continuous supervision. And so even with that, do we think that we had continuous supervision? Did our parents read an instruction manual? Did they know how to handle us? Did they know how to speak to us? Did they know how to guide us? Did they give us continuous adult supervision? And when we really look at that, how we view that might, paint a picture or set an image on how we might view life. And let's look at another one. It says use only in areas free from hindrances, like clutter. And so, do you feel like your parents read the instruction manual? Do you think that they made sure that your mind was free from clutter, that they didn't add to the weirdness of life itself that you was already experiencing, that they maybe added rules and certain things, stumbling blocks? And again, parents do this unknowingly because, again, did their parent read the instruction manual about them? Did they understand the life? Did they understand the power of just a simple rocking horse? Did they read the instructions? And also, if we have children, we cannot be judges because did we read instructions? Did we read something or did we search for something to see if somebody left us some kind of manual on how to behave and how to treat one another and how to bring life into the world and how to cherish it and love it? Did anybody seek a manual? It also says do not use on steps or steep inclines or uneven surfaces. Do you think that you had an even playing field? Do you think that it was different, maybe when it came to you? And maybe that the ground was uneven so that you couldn't get a solid foundation. Maybe that was part of your life. And maybe because your parents, maybe even us, we didn't read a manual or didn't know a manual existed that would teach us such things so that we can be equally yoked and not unequally yoked. And so, and that we can be bonded together. And with having these instructions, it's good to know because these are things that we didn't know to build a healthier society. And this is, again, just with a rocking horse, but we can see just with this simple rocking horse and the instructions on just so far how much we can benefit from it. It says also to allow only one rider. You are the only person in control of your life. You're the person that's in control of the rocking horse, on the speed of it, how it rocks, if it goes real high, if it tips over, if it goes too far up. We are people who we control the destiny of our life. We control the rocking horse. And so there's another thing that we can also look at is that there's caution against extreme rocking. Extreme rocking. There's, too much rocking. You can be injured. And so when we look at this, even when it comes to a rocking horse and with our life, we can see that there's things that need to take place because this thing can cause serious injury or it can cause death. And if we don't really read the instructions and know what to do, and actually not just read the instructions, but implement these instructions, use them to your benefit, because what is instructions good for if you're not going to follow and obey them? And so in my mind, I'm thinking about this rocking horse, and I'm thinking that if we look at the manufacturer, now I tried to look up the manufacturer, but what I looked up is that the manufacturer is unknown. The manufacturer of the rocking horse is unknown. And so also when it comes to God, there's a lot of things that are unknown, I think, to humanity about God. And again, not knowing where this beautiful rocking horse came from, but knowing that it does have an instruction manual, even though we don't know who was the person who originally came up with the idea. And we can also, when we look at the manufacturer, again, we just put them, I look at that as God, right? And then we look at the parent, the teacher, right? The person that purchases the rocking horse, knowingly or unknowingly that this rocking horse has instructions and that it can cause injury or death, but they still purchase it. And even with our life, sometimes we might be confused and wonder why we possess and have this life, right? Because, it can cause serious injury and death, and maybe we experienced serious injury. And it is just probably, you can't think of why somebody would give you something that would cause so much pain. And so, but yet parents still go out year after year, and they spend money and they purchase the rocking horse, even though it has a potential to have a downside to it. And then we have the disciple, the child that possesses the rocking horse, the one that the parent provides the rocking horse for, the one that the manufacturer designed the rocking horse for the child to enjoy. And so now we have the student who possesses the rocking horse. And with that, now we are possessing life, right? We're enjoying life. And so basically, again, the rocking horse of life. By looking at this rocking horse, by knowing that it does come with instructions, I want you to know that we also have an instruction manual. The instruction manual that I personally used was the Bible. And I take the revelations that I get from it, like pictures like this, and I try to implement them in my life to try to understand things. Because sometimes I do feel like maybe everybody that had rulership and authority over me, did not read the instruction manual before handling me. And I think that I was mishandled a lot of times. And so maybe you might be feeling the same way, right? But the weird thing about this thing is that even if today, if you was to buy a rocking horse, it is up to you personally to read the instructions before you let your child use it. It is up to you now to read the instructions and follow it. It is up to you to pay close attention to your child while they're on the rocking horse. It is up to you to make sure that there's nothing hindering that child from enjoying life and being free-minded. It is up to you to make sure that everything is evenly yoked, that there's nothing uneven in the relationship. It is also up to you to make sure that the child understands that this rocking horse is only made for one rider, that it's not made for two. That means that you have to follow your spirit. You got to follow your inner you. You cannot have any idols on this ride. And so also you'll make sure that they don't rock extremely on here, because again, you know that they can fall and it can cause injury or death. And so again, we can look at this rocking horse, and if you felt like maybe somebody didn't read the instruction manual for you, then maybe you can read it for yourself. And maybe with the studying, you can uproot some things and replant things inside of yourself that can encourage you to keep going. See, the thing of it is that you can read the manual now. You can read the manual and see what the instructions are for yourself, so that you can enjoy riding your rocking horse. You can enjoy your life. And again, I want to thank you for this moment, because I just think that this is definitely fascinating. And we'll be talking about this manual, right? This why do manufacturers even provide a manual? What is the manual for? And so we'll be talking about that, going over that, going in depth. And so join me again. I thank you for listening.